I don't know how to start it. How did we start it last time?
Yes, we can just sit here. I don't know. So I was thinking we can just sit here quietly until
So what?
until it just starts. Until someone starts talking.
So with the Cardinals, I really don't know what they're gonna do at this point. They really could go in a number
Um,
of ways.
I think I mean, okay. Kyler Murray is. They don't want to go with Kyler Murray, which I still feel like they might. There might be a smoke screen there. I don't know, but Quinn and Williams, I feel like is their guy next up.
But what if they just trade?
I don't think anyone trades down to them or up to them. I don't think they trade down with anyone.
You don't think anyone wants Kyler Murray that bad?
I don't think so. No teams have shown like a lot of interest besides the Raiders, and I don't think they trade up with the Cardinals. And plus the next teams available, I mean like Bucks haven't had any news about wanting a quarterback. Giants have connections to Dwayne Haskins, but I mean I haven't heard any news on Kyler Murray because of the fact that everyone thought he was going to the Cardinals.
That's what I mean. So it's like to think, because I mean, you also think he's the Heisman Trophy winner as well. Like that's gonna have some impact on some teams' boards and everything. The Heisman winning
Maybe,
quarterback, it,
maybe.
it's a little bit.
I don't think the Cardinals want to go past the Raiders, and I don't think the Raiders trade up for him.
So why Quinn Williams over anyone else like Nick Bosa?
Pressure because they have Chandler Jones on the outside who played well for them.
I just have a hard time seeing like a D tackle go number one. Like when has that happened?
Yeah, but I still think Quinn Williams is the best player available, and I think it's a bigger need for them.
You think he should go over Nick Bosa?
I think the Cardinals would rather have Quinn Williams over Nick Bosa.
Have they interviewed Quinn Williams? Because I haven't heard anything on it.
I've seen I've seen information about them liking Quinn Williams.
Hmm. I've only seen them interview. Like I know they met and had dinner with Nick Bosa.
Well, what do you think they trade back here?
I think it's completely possible. I mean, they need quite a bit on their team, and if they were to trade back, like there's a lot of depth in this like draft. But just who would be willing to trade up to the number one pick is also a big thing.
Yeah, that's what I don't know about.
Because I mean, I could see the Jets trading down if he's. I could see the Niners trading down if Kyler Murray's still there. Like I could
Yeah,
see
same.
any of the top three teams trading down if he's there, and I could see the potential of the Raiders taking him if he's there.
hmm
So it's like I feel like Kyler goes in the top four.
I agree with that. I don't think he goes one though.
The Cardinals need so much. I just don't know if like getting one interior guy is gonna like do enough for them and be a big enough difference maker.
What? So you want to give him Nick Bosa?
I feel like Nick Bosa is a little bit safer of an option. Like he's been a good player. Like I feel like you. I mean, I guess you kind of know what you're getting in both of them a little bit still. Like they're both really good talents, but just like position value, I just have a really hard time seeing that a D tackle is going to go number one.
Yeah, I can see that. But I guess he wouldn't really play being playing tackle for them. He'd be playing. Oh, are they in a 4-3 now? Oh, I don't actually know.
But either way, Nick Bosa fits. Quinn Williams has been more of an interior guy, regardless of the system they're running.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
My vote would be Nick Bosa. He's like the best player available on a lot of boards. Like he's been going into this as like one of the better players. I mean, nothing's changed with him. He's been injured. Nothing's changed with him. He's still like one of the top players, and he's at one of the bigger like position valued spots as an edge rusher.
Yeah, all right. We can go Nick Bosa.
And I wouldn't be stunned if someone did trade up and still try to get Nick Bosa, because I mean he is very talented.
Yeah.
But then it's like, so now do the Niners take a player, or do they trade for someone to take most likely Kyler Murray?
I think they might trade here.
See, I think they would like to trade, and I think the Jets would also like to trade. But just are they going to have enough value where it's like, okay, like yes, this is worth going down. This is like going to be more valuable than getting one of the premier players.
Yeah.
I just don't know if there's enough like value there. And I mean, they could go in like, I mean, the Niners are a kind of weird spot because it's like a lot. I feel like a lot of people keep putting them with like a defensive lineman of some type, whether it's an interior or an edge rusher. But they traded for D Ford, so I don't know like how much it's a concern for them versus them being able to like trade down and potentially get more like value out of it all. I just don't know who would be willing to trade up.
Who trades up with them? Like maybe the Giants if they really want Kyler Murray.
I haven't heard much on the Giants and Kyler Murray though.
Yes, neither have I.
I don't know where he would necessarily go.
I say the Niners take Josh Allen here.
I think it makes a lot of sense still, and because if you pair two really good edge rushers, like you can single-handedly make a good defense with that. Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. I think they'd be happier with Nick Bosa, but
They still get a good edge rusher. All right, I think the Jets trade back with the Giants here, and I mean, I kind of want to see. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think the Jets would trade back with the Giants? I don't think they get the Giants' other first round pick, maybe like a later pick.
I don't
But
think the Giants trade up. I think Dwayne Haskins is their guy. He just seems to fit like what like the Giants like style is.
if Dwayne Haskins is their guy, I think they trade up with the Jets. I don't think they trade a lot, but I think they do go up and get him.
I don't think he's gonna go though. Otherwise, like
I mean, they probably have a fear that the Jets want to trade down. So they might have a fear that someone's going to trade up with the Jets to pick up Dwayne Haskins over the Raiders, who might take Dwayne Haskins. You know what I mean? And definitely before the Giants. Like the Jets are an open trade destination, and I think a team like the Bengals or the Redskins will try and throw together a huge deal to get up there if their quarterback is there.
wait. So you're saying the Bengals or the Redskins try to get to where?
Three.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't see the Giants going up though.
Well, that's why I think the Giants would go up because they want to get their guy. They won't have to give up as much.
I just I just don't know if Dwayne Haskins is gonna go super high. I don't know if he's has that value, but I mean, I guess going up a few spots to make sure you get your guy isn't bad. But I just don't feel like they're like one of those teams that's like panicking for a quarterback. Like I feel like they've been kind of making.
If their guy is Dwayne Haskins, they're gonna go up and get him.
I mean, their guy could be Kyler Murray if he's there as well, which wouldn't be like shocking
Yeah.
because it would be interesting pairing with Barkley as well.
hmm
I kind of feel like the Bengals could be a sneaky team to trade up with the Jets and just like get their quarterback because they need something.
But I've also heard that the Bengals don't really want a quarterback in this draft.
Hmm.
Like I said, the Redskins make them move up, but they would have to give up so much.
Yeah, I don't think the Redskins are quite like there to be able to do that.
Yeah. Maybe the Broncos could move up. I think it's got Joe
Yeah,
Flacco, but
that's kind of what I was thinking. You know what? Like, I feel like it'd be hard for this to happen. But what if the Giants traded up to 3 and got Dwayne Haskins, and then the Broncos traded to 6 with the Jets? The Jets traded down twice, and then the Broncos would get Kyler Murray. Uh,
if Kyler Murray's at 6.
yeah, which I mean, I don't know if he would be there or not, but I could see something like weird like that happening, where the Jets just like collect a bunch of draft capital.
hmm
That'd be kind of smart from them, though, if they were able to
It would
pull
be
something
very
off
smart.
that. I don't know if that would be actually a thing, though.
I think the Giants go up and get Dwayne Haskins.
All right, let's just make that happen. I think Dwayne Haskins is their guy.
Yeah.
So then, do the Raiders take Kyler Murray?
Actually, probably. I think they might. Yeah.
I kind of do too, which is kind of weird. 'Cause, like going into this, I was like, the Raiders aren't taking a quarterback
I
when
think
we
if
came into this.
Kyler Murray falls to them at 4, I think they take him. I know they don't. I don't think they really want a quarterback, but I don't think they expected Kyler Murray to be there at 4.
I
So
think it'd be a very awkward thing for Oakland, though. That's all we can say
it
with
would be.
that. Can you just imagine like him going and playing in Oakland, in the same stadium he was supposed to be playing in already? Like that is like just so ironic if this happens.
If you're more of an A's fan than a Raiders fan, you're gonna be pissed.
it's a weird thing, but I feel like John Gruden is gonna have to at least like consider that. Like if that's his guy, like he seems to be really impressed with him. It's like sometimes that's just the way the draft goes. Like you don't expect to take a certain position and they're just there.
Yeah. All right. 5. I think the Buccaneers guy is Devin White. I think they leave Quinn Williams on the board still, and they get Devin White.
I can honestly see the Buccaneers trading back and like someone else trading up to get Quinn Williams.
But who?
I don't know.
That's the problem I have. I don't think anyone's going to go up and get Quinn Williams.
And maybe I mean sometimes players like this do just kind of fall based on like player type and like their position and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
team needs. Um, I mean, do you agree, Devin White with the Bucks?
I think Devin
I
White
just
in the
think,
Bucks is a really good fit. So
yeah, so do I. I think the Bucks like him as well.
Jets still get their guy then.
Jets get Quinn Williams.
The Jets just like do really well then. They're like
Yeah,
already
Jets do
winning this
very well.
draft. Like I don't
Yeah,
know what necessarily they get from the Giants. It's probably not a ton, but like they're already winning the draft
yeah.
without doubt.
Okay, Jags. I think Jonah Williams is the best player on the board for the Jags. I could also see them getting like a receiver.
I see them more going O line, but I don't like
So do
disagree
I.
with the receiver. I mean it's just kind of which tackle is their guy. I think between Jonah Williams, Andre Dillard, or Jawan Taylor, it's one of those guys. And it's just who do they want more?
hmm I think Jonah Williams is the best because they can put him wherever they want, you know?
I agree. He can kind of move depending on what they need. He can go inside. He can stay outside. It gives him a lot
Yeah,
of versatility, which is nice.
yeah. Okay, Lions. I say the Lions trade back with the Redskins here, and they get Drew Lock. The Redskins get Drew Lock.
I mean, they could, but like Ed Oliver's still on the board. Like, there's like a lot of like good defensive prospects that like are
But the
very
Lions,
regarded,
the
like
Lions came
highly.
out and said we want to trade down. Like they came out and said like we don't want our eighth pick.
If it's a good enough offer,
No, they came out and they it was like the most aggressive tone I've ever seen someone come out and say. They like came out like, please offer us a pick because like we don't want our pick.
do you think Redskins, if they do this hypothetically, do you think they go Drew Lock or Daniel Jones? Because I mean, I feel like those are very like
I
could
think
be
they go
either
Drew Lock.
one.
I think Drew Lock's their guy.
I'm okay with this. I'm not like 100% sold, but I'm okay with it. I I mean the Bills now. I think they go with the guy that's been kind of linked to them more and more, in Ed Oliver.
Yeah, I do too.
Just because he's your
I
name doesn't mean you can say that. That's how this
think.
works.
Okay, I think that's a pretty easy pick. They lost Kyle Williams, and they won an interior guy to push the pocket. That's what they
Yeah,
came out and said. They don't want just big space eaters. So yeah. Okay, Broncos.
this can go in a number of ways.
I like T.J. Hawkinson to them.
I do
I also
too.
like Devin Bush to them, but I think I'm leaning towards T.J. Hawkinson. T.J.
That's how I feel. I agree.
I think
I,
they want to help out Flacco a bit.
and it helps the run game out too. Like
Yeah,
he does multiple things. It still helps the offensive line even.
yeah.
I think it's just all around. It's like useful
It's
for them.
smart. It's the smartest pick for them, I think. Okay. Um, Bengals. Um, they got an interesting pick here.
My vote would be Montez Sweat.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think that's the position that they need.
It's a good value. It's a position of need. I mean,
Yeah,
he has so much like athletic upside. It's like kind of unreal.
yeah. I
Like
think they get a steal with him falling that far.
I agree. Packers.
All right, I like DK Metcalf here. I think we've talked about this before. DK Metcalf, I really like. I also like Devin Bush for them, but I think their guy is DK Metcalf, and I think it helps out Aaron Rodgers, and it also is a great career starter for DK Metcalf.
I think it's like the perfect landing spot for DK Metcalf. The only other
hmm
position I would more like argue it is like another option. I think they go DK Metcalf. That's what I want to put here. But I think they could go like a tackle. I don't want to rule that out because I mean that still helps Aaron
hmm
Rodgers and stuff. I think they need to protect Aaron Rodgers, and I do think DK Metcalf does like help in some regards because you have to like think more about him. You can't just rush
Yep.
as many people and blitz as often and stuff. So I think it's a good pick for them.
Yeah.
It's a very good number 2 receiver.
All right, Dolphins. I kind of like the Dolphins getting Brian Burns here. Or I could see them picking up Jeffrey Simons.
You know, I was thinking Jeffrey Simons, honestly.
I think they're like in this rebuild stage. They're going for a quarterback next year, and like they have a year to hold on to Jeffrey Simons.
I 100% agree. That's what I was kind of leaning towards. And when we were saying that, I was like, we're going to have a disagreement here. But
Yeah.
no.
Jeffrey Simons to the Dolphins. Okay, Falcons. They could go. I think they need an offensive lineman here. I think there's two good available options, and like they had a bad pass protection, a bad run game last year, and I think their best bet is to solidify that offensive line.
It's just pretty much between Dillard and Taylor.
Yeah,
Dillard's going to be the better pass blocker.
yeah,
I don't really. No, I just think it's which one's their guy. Like, it's hard to really pick. I think they go with a tackle, though.
yeah. I think Taylor is more potential, and I think they would rather take that.
I think that helps their run game more than Dillard will as well.
Yeah,
And, like, that seems to always be, like, a concern for them, and they, like, want to make sure their running back's doing well enough. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So this is gonna be the Lions pick.
Right. I was thinking Redskins. I'm glad you said that.
So I could see them, the Lions grabbing Brian Burns here. He's fallen to them. He's kind of best player available.
I could see Brian Burns. I could see Dexter Lawrence. Not Dexter Lawrence.
Christian Wilkins.
Clean Farrell. And,
Okay.
yeah. And I could still see Rashawn Gary going. Like, he's still, like, I feel like he's fallen in stock value, but he's still not like he's off the books, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's one of these edge rushers, but it's just like, which one is their guy again? Kind of comes down to that same thing.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a tough thing.
Yeah. Maybe Rashawn Gary goes here. I don't know. I think it's between, for me, it's between Rashawn Gary and Brian Burns.
To me, it's kind of Rashawn Gary and Cleveland Farrell.
Let's go Rashawn Gary then.
I feel like Farrell just, like, meets their kind of style that they're going with, but I think Rashawn Gary is, like, there's a lot of upside, and I don't think at 15 it's, like, a bad pick either. It's, like,
I'd say they go Rashawn Gary. If you both say Rashawn Gary, let's go. Okay, Panthers. I think they would rather have Brian Burns than Cleveland Farrell, the Panthers.
yeah, I agree.
I think Brian Burns is almost reminiscent of what's his name, the guy they just lost. Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers.
Brian Burns will replace Julius Peppers. I like it.
Yeah. I think he's kind of reminiscent of Julius Peppers almost. Okay. Giants. Giants went up and got their quarterback. I say they give him a receiver, or I say they give him Andre Dillard. Andre Dillard's still here, and their offensive line needs help. Dwayne Haskins needs a pocket to throw in. I think they go Andre Dillard.
What about someone like Farrell, though? Like, they do need help on D-line as well.
But they just got their quarterback. I think they're way more worried about protecting their future quarterback than just trying to solidify the defense.
I mean, Dillard is a really good prospect, so it would be kind of hard. And he's a really good pass blocker. I mean, it does make a lot of sense, actually. It's like the best pass blocking tackle. I like it. Vikings, I think the Vikings still have to go O-line. It comes down to this, and like every time I've talked about a mock draft, it's always like bring Greg Little. He's always the guy that just like seems to fit here.
I agree. I like Greg Little here.
It's like funny how it's like that's the one position that's been consistent, and like that and Devin White are literally the only consistent ones we've done. Like we're like this is happening.
Yeah.
Watched neither one of them happen, but we'll see. You know, it's only a few days away because we're recording this on Saturday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I think Greg Little fits them pretty well. Okay, Titans. Last mock draft we did, you had them taking Marquise Brown, and the more I thought about it, like when we first did it, I was kind of skeptical, but I actually really like that pick for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I still like that.
Or AJ Brown.
I think Marquise Brown just kind of like fits their mold a little better. Like AJ Brown, I don't think is a bad pick here. A lot of people have Marquise Brown as the number one receiver. A lot of people have DK Metcalf as the number one receiver. And
yeah.
It seems like AJ Brown's kind of considered like consistently. I mean, like the number two. So it's like weird, kind of how it gets valued.
Yeah, that is kind
But
of weird.
I still
Okay,
like Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown is. Okay, I ever heard a lot of reports for the Steelers that they want a cornerback.
But Devin Bush is also still on the board. So I think it's a corner or Devin Bush.
But I think they want a cornerback. I could see Devin Bush falling past them.
Yeah. They do need defensive back help.
Um, I think Greedy Williams fits them well because he's his zone coverage and they play more zone. Um, but I mean, it's really whoever their guy is, you know, like Rockus, and he's been a lot of people have him as the number one corner or Greedy Williams. So I mean, or Byron Murphy. It's just hard.
I was gonna say I think if they take a corner here, the way they play, like, I like Greedy there, but I think they go Byron Murphy. He's like the most like zone corner in the draft with really good instincts.
All right, let's do it. Let's give him Byron Murphy.
I think Byron goes somewhere around there anyway, so I think it does make sense. The Seahawks are such a tough team to pick for. They're just
Uh,
they're very difficult. We're probably not getting this one right. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. I don't expect to get this one right.
I like Taylor Rapp here. I like them replacing their safety, getting Taylor Rapp.
I agree.
I that's just kind of how I see them going.
We had him in the last mock, and I think he still goes here. I think it's a good fit. I like it.
Okay, Ravens. Ravens are hard because they can either get Devin Bush and replace C.J. Mosley, or they go and try and help out Lamar Jackson and get him a receiver who I like A.J. Brown, but I don't know if that's their guy, so it's kind of hard to tell. I think that's the best player for their team. I think he's a great receiver. He's a great run blocker. I think he helps that offense in so many ways. I just don't know if that's their guy or not.
I think it could very well be their guy, but I think Devin Bush is still there. I think he's falling a lot. I think they have to take him. Like their identity has always been their defense. That's like kind of been their identity. Like they
Yeah,
need a guy in the middle. Like he's someone that probably shouldn't be here still. Very well likely won't be here. But if he's here, like they have to take him. I just don't see like
yeah,
how they like take someone different. Like there's gonna be
sure.
depth at receiver and stuff to get later, but like did someone like Devin Bush, you're not gonna get later. Like
Mhm.
you have to take him now, and the receivers could be all over the place. Like, you don't really know who's going at this point. Like it's my vote's Devin Bush.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Texans. I like either Cody Ford here as an offensive lineman. I also kind of like Josh Jacobs here. If any team's going to take him in the first, I see it being them. And then I also kind of I could see him also maybe taking a cornerback. But my money's on offense and either helping out Deshaun Watson as much as possible. I know they kind of want a receiver as well, so maybe AJ Brown, but I think my money's on Josh Jacobs or Cody Ford.
I agree. It's just how confident they're in the running backs is kind of what it comes down to, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
like, oh, line's gonna help their running backs, but getting a premier like running back is also pretty like important. So I
hmm
would say we go with Josh Jacobs. I think that helps them out a lot. Gives Deshaun Watson someone to like kind of lean on, and it's not as much on him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
And Lamar Miller's getting older, and it's just like it's kind of time. And they're getting a really
Yeah.
good prospect at 23. It's a running back. It's not the biggest position need necessarily, but I think it's still good value. I think it's a good fit as well.
Yeah. All right. Raiders are sitting here at 24.
And so they
This is
previously picked Kyler Murray. So now they have a new quarterback. So I mean, potentially they could have another pick in this first round or second round with Derek Carr if they do that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what happens to Derek Carr in this scenario. That's not what I'm going to worry about. He could stay starting, and it's like I could even see the Raiders still like just leveraging Kyler Murray at some point as well, just because they can.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're discussing now. It's their pick number 24.
Okay. I say Cleveland Farrell's available. It's a positional need, but also I could see them maybe going Noah Fant. But I think if the Raiders were smart here, they would not pick up Noah Fant, knowing that the Eagles and Colts definitely don't need a tight end.
Yeah,
So
I'm on the same boat as that.
I think they take Cleveland Farrell.
I don't see any other like positions like okay, this guy's falling, let's grab him. I think they take best player available. I think he very well could be best player available, at least on defensive side.
Yeah.
I'd say he's best player available. Now the Eagles.
Eagles. I could see them going cornerback here.
That wouldn't stun me at all. I would. It's hard to say like who they would have going here.
I could see him going Rocky Sin. I think he's going up a lot of draft boards because of how physical he is. I think Greedy's falling because of how unphysical he is.
I'm just looking to see who we put there last month. We had Byron Murphy going here, and he's already gone. I still like Byron
Yeah.
Murphy there if he's available,
Uh,
but
I say Rocky Sin is more of their guy.
yeah, I think that could be a good fit. He is going
What
up
a,
boards more and
also,
more.
what a great name, Rocky Sin. Okay, Colts. I mean, I last one we did, we had who was it? Jonathan Abram.
Yeah,
I really like that still. I think it's kind of a need that they want. I think they've
yeah, I
been looking
agree.
at it,
I
and I
mean,
think it fits them perfectly.
I've done obviously like my due diligence on the Colts and everything, and I do think AJ Brown could still be that sneaky pick here. Like this could
Really?
very well be where he goes. I think because like they interviewed AJ Brown as one of the first receivers they interviewed. I just don't know how well they felt about him, so I think they've been keeping an eye on him the entire time. They've also been doing a lot of due diligence with safeties, and I feel like
Hmm.
there's a little bit more depth at receiver to potentially go by their next pick in the second round. So I think it might be more likely to go safety, but AJ Brown could very well be the pick here.
So who do you think they would rather have?
It's tough because I think AJ Brown could sneak to them in the second round. I think Jonathan Abram can sneak to them in the second round.
Hmm.
So it's like they might be able to get both still, and they might be able to get one. And they might not even be able to get either one potentially. I think they want to do a lot on defense, and the so I still want to go Jonathan Abram, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But I just think AJ Brown could be the guy there.
Yeah, I definitely think that he could be as well. I could see it.
Doing this whole mock draft, and this was the same way with the last one, is I feel like AJ Brown goes somewhere decently early in the first round, or like the teens to like 30s, but like
Hmm.
I just don't know where.
Yeah.
And it's just really tough because I think he's talented and he should go somewhere in here. So it won't stun me if he goes like anywhere from 15 on, but I just
Hmm.
don't know where.
Yeah.
He could even go to the Raiders potentially, but I think they go Noah Fant.
I think we just talked about no fan. I think they let him fall to here and they take him. I think positional need. I think they like him a lot of potential. I think it's a great pick at 24 or 27.
Yeah, I agree. Would you like my transition to that? It's pretty good.
Yes, that was good.
All right, Chargers at 28.
I think interior defensive line, biggest hole, huge hole for them. Christian Wilkins fills it perfectly.
Yeah, I like it. I think Christian Wilkins has kind of fallen to them, and they're like, okay, you guys finally have taken an interior defensive lineman. This one
Yep.
is great. One's just falling in your lap at 28. Like, you guys are
You have
stupid.
to.
Take him.
It's fate. Yeah, it's fate.
It's like there's no one else that justifies this spot. Like, there's just not. Unless they are super confident Daniel Jones is their future, like 100% sure, I think they take Christian Wilkins.
If Daniel Jones is their future, I think they would trade up for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could.
So I don't think I think if the Chargers were to take Daniel Jones, I think they would trade up to take him. So I don't see him going here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Chiefs. Um, Chiefs are hard. Chiefs are rough. Um,
I feel like the Chiefs go with a corner and DeAndre Baker.
really? Why is that?
I just feel like he's just a good fit for them, and I think they need the defensive back help.
Hmm.
I just think they go defense, and I think it's just like been a position of need. It gives them more of someone who could potentially just get them the ball back, which, with Patrick Mahomes is really useful.
Hmm.
Like they don't need to build around Patrick Mahomes a lot more. Like yeah, building around him more still helps, but it's like if they're just letting up a bunch of points and Mahomes has to go out and throw like 4 touchdowns a game, like it's a lot more work for him. And I don't know how well he's going to keep it up. And I just think it makes sense to get someone at least like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're not as much zone heavy as other teams, if I recall.
They could really go anywhere on defense, except for interior defensive line, I feel like. I mean, they could go there, but I think they have other needs. Um,
Yeah.
they might go edge rusher here. I mean, I'm not totally against Jalen Ferguson for them.
Hmm. Yeah, I was kind of thinking edge rusher as well. I just didn't feel like anyone was quite worthy to go here, was my thing. And I feel like DeAndre Baker is worthy enough to go here. And I feel like it is a good, like, position need and fit.
I don't know. I kind of like Jalen Ferguson. Jalen Ferguson has a lot of potential as an edge rusher. Um, and I don't see him falling out of the first round because of how good of an edge rusher he is. I know that there's some issues that he was having that was making him drop, but um, I think he's too much of a talent. He had too much productivity in college to drop this far.
We can go with that. I'm okay with it.
I also think it's like they have a lot of issues on defensive line, but edge rusher is definitely their biggest.
You seem more confident than I am, so I'm willing to go with it.
Okay, let's do it.
But if I'm right, I'll be mad.
Packers. I think they're going all in on Aaron Rodgers. I think they get him Cody Ford, protect
Yeah.
him.
I think it's Cody Ford or Bradbury. One of the two.
I think it's Cody Ford.
Yeah.
I think he's the more natural guard.
I think Bradbury should go somewhere in the first, but I mean there's always like I feel like there's like those 5 to 10 players at the end of the first where like this or more likely 5, but I feel like there's like 5 players where like these guys are first round that should be in here, but then it's like no one's worthy to get kicked out. So it's like
Yeah.
it's just too many first round players to go in the first round realistically. And I feel like Bradbury's just one of those players that could fall out. Like that happens with offensive linemen all the time when they just like fall out of the first round when they're like, this is a really good prospect, but it just,
hmm
I mean, it happens.
Yep.
The Rams.
Rams. I don't see. I think the Rams go Dexter Lawrence here. I think he's best player available.
I like it. To pair up in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
Use them like that's what they've been trying to do as well.
Yeah.
Some
They've
good
been.
Mohamed Sanu placement. I mean replacement, not placement.
I mean Ndamukong Suh.
What did I say?
Mohamed Sanu. Wait,
Yeah.
Ndamukong. Yeah, Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Okay. Now
You said
you.
Mohamed Sanu.
I'm an expert. All right. Dexter Lawrence. Let's move on. I didn't say anything weird.
Patriots. You've heard stuff about Jace Sternberg, you're saying, right?
Yeah, they're definitely like at least. I think Irv Smith is a good fit here, but I think Jay Sternberger is someone they've just like they're already like looking at right now, like literally as we're recording this, for the most part. And like
hmm
tight end is a pretty big position of need, and he did lead the league in as far as tight ends go and touchdown receptions. So I think it like makes a lot of sense.
I like him there. What do you feel about AJ Brown going here?
I see. I would have kind of thought more receiver, but I mean, it's like they seem to always just get some receiver like that, like is more older that like they're just like gonna somehow just like rejuvenate and make good. And I think that's what they're doing with Demaryius Thomas. But I just don't know
hmm
when Demaryius Thomas comes back to playing.
hmm
So like AJ Brown could very well be the guy, but I just think like getting someone that can be that like more like red zone threat. Like they don't have Gronk now. Like who is gonna be that big red zone threat? Like AJ Brown isn't the biggest red zone threat, like at
Julian
all.
Edelman.
I think they need that red zone threat more than they need someone to kind of stretch the field. AJ Brown thinks a really good talent, but I just think they need a red zone guy. Like who
Well,
is
who do
he
you,
throwing to in the end zone?
yeah, but I mean, if they like AJ Brown more, I think they would take AJ Brown.
I haven't heard any of them linked to AJ Brown. I've heard them linked to potentially getting a receiver, but I've heard them linked to Sternberger. So I think that's a little bit safer of a pick. I'm probably getting it wrong no matter what. So I think that's a
Yeah.
little bit safer. And I
hmm
think he's just a good player.
So you're saying Sternberger?
Yeah, I just think they need a red zone target. Like
Hmm.
AJ Brown, I think had like it was like 6 touchdowns all season or something for like the
Yeah.
whole year. Like he's just not like a big end zone guy. Like he's not the big like red zone. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing in some ways when you're trying to score a touchdown. But I just think Sternberger gives them a good red zone target, and I think Tom Brady needs some good target. He's been throwing at tight ends for however many years now with Gronk. Like you can't just not have a tight end there, really. Like, you need someone.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
I don't know how confident I am on this. I do like it, though, and I feel like a lot of players go around where they're going to go, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't know, like, how accurate we are. Like, we could be, like, just a couple picks off on, like, everyone, potentially, based on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can just throw
Yeah.
everything off.